Cole, this is my opener. Hi, everybody. That's what I do on my show. I want to open it differently every time, but I go with, hi, everybody, every time. It's getting it's like my signature opening.
I love it.
Right, since this is boys about their emotions, I'm going to be quiet.
It'll be a very quiet show if that's the case. So this is Men in Their Emotions, the Tough Step. Or is it Tough Step, the Men in Their Emotions? It's the Tough Step, Men in Their Emotions, whatever. It's something like that. I don't even know anymore.
Those couple things.
I came up with the name, and now it just doesn't even make sense anymore. And Annie, obviously. Jairus needed to take some time off this week to take care of some stuff, so he's doing that. And we invited Cole to join us. So Cole, World, Annie, in case nobody knows Annie, which is hard to believe at this point. And then, Cole, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit just for the world?
Sure. So, world, my name is Cole, living in a suburb outside Minneapolis, Minnesota. And just as I think a lot of us are on this journey from, I think, head-centered to heart-centered to soul-centered, I am most definitely rooted in the heart-centered right now and just in everything that I'm kind of about right now. And, kind of waking up in this space where some days I kind of feel like I have a purpose and I kind of know where I'm going. And other days I feel like there is this void and I don't necessarily know where it's going. And I feel that there's a light inside of me, but I don't necessarily know what it's being directed towards. So that's kind of the space that I am in. And so, feeling a little bit misdirected in terms of life, but I think that is part of the beautiful journey that is life and just embracing the ebb and flow of it all. So happy to be here with both of you.
Awesome. I mean, I think that you're just finding your beginning. If we're talking about breath framework, I think you're finding your be, and you have amazing self-awareness to even know that you're feeling a little misdirected or misguided or lost, rather than all these things happening in your life and then people going, hello, you're lost, wake up. Like you're sort of really aware. So you're hyper aware to that, which says something about you as a person. But the awareness, I think, makes sometimes it harder a little bit, if that makes sense. Sometimes it makes the struggle in life harder.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think there was a period of time of, I would say, probably 5 years where I was just sleepwalking through life, not even feeling anything of any sort. And then I finally just came to a point where I realized, I don't like how I feel right now. And so let's just make that conscious choice to show up differently, however that would look. And so that was March of 2020. And so let's just see what happens, not knowing what the future would hold. And so, thus began the journey then. That was the be at that point, but then it really started.
So your journey began when COVID hit, basically.
Essentially, yes. Mm-hmm. Unbeknownst to me at the time, because I literally just kind of stumbled upon a book at the time, and I just kind of made a choice just to show up differently at that same exact time. So
wow. Was there something that happened that made you sort of say, I'm going to make the change, or?
Not at that specific time, but I mean, several years prior, I just kind of had, gone through some things, and it was literally just kind of in this period of just nothingness, I would say, really kind of like
numb.
Yeah, literally. It was just a numbness into almost a lack of feeling anything. And then all of a sudden it was like I awoke to something, but I didn't like what it was. And so therefore I thought, let's maybe change this, because why not? I think there's something else here, but I don't know what it is. And I'm curious to find out what that something is.
You're very curious, which is an amazing quality to have, because I always say curious people are the smartest people. I don't find myself to be the most curious person. I'd like to be a little more curious. So I think it's cool that you are on this journey and you've decided to go for this. And I mean, from what I know of you and what I've seen of you, like, hi, Sib.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, sweetheart?
Good.
Are you being good for Daddy?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to say hi to Cole?
Hi, Cole.
Hello.
So cute. That's the woman that runs the house. I don't know if you know about Sid, but she appears often, and she runs basically the show. I'm trying. Look at this. I'm not even the host. I'm trying to click the comment because Kenny wrote you a comment. and I'm not even able to click it because I'm not the host. Always remember that you are such a gem of a gentleman, a human being, and a friend of mine, and to millions who share this goodness with others for the betterment of humankind.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, DJ, coming through with the comment. So if you had to say the thing that you're dealing with the most right now, Cole, like your biggest challenge or struggle, remember like the other day when we were talking and I said, sit in it and, kind of be present. Presently, what is your biggest challenge?
I mean, I think it all just comes down to self-acceptance, self-worth, the classic example, right? I mean, I think, I just talked a little bit about beginning the journey in March of 2020, but it wasn't until January of this year where I realized that I didn't love myself nor accept myself nearly enough to create a life of which I deserved, whatever that would look like. And I still have no idea what that even looks like moving forward. But that wasn't until January where I even realized, I don't love myself nearly enough. And so that's literally been 5+ months now. So, if we're talking, 25, 26 years of, no love of self, no acceptance of self, and then starting in the last 5-6 months, obviously there's going to be, a bit of a journey ahead, obviously, never evolving process. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I would say in terms of a biggest struggle or something I'm dealing with, it is
figuring out that self-worth barometer, that like barometer. And So do you do any journaling?
I do. Yeah.
Do you like daily journaling?
Yeah.
Do you write it with your hand or do you type it?
I've always written it since I started. And I can't remember when I started it, if it was at the end of last year or what have you, but I ever since I started, I like doing things by hand because I just think
I have all these notebooks with my writing on everything. Like it's ridiculous. I need to go to like digital at some point. It's 2021, right? But I feel like there's something so important and special about going from your head to your hand to your paper versus just typing. There's something so cathartic about that writing process.
I totally agree. And I mean, I do that with everything. I mean, literally with when I go out and run, I keep a handheld journal with my running that I do. I mean, I keep a digital one online too, but I literally write out greater length entries with my running too. And I do all that with that because I just don't like to look at screens and digital more.
Do you ever go back and read them?
I do occasionally. Yeah. And if there's ever one where where it's like, ooh, that was something I might have hit on something there. I kind of highlight the date, but I do occasionally go back and read some of them. Yes.
Have you seen over the 5.5 or 6 months now since January, have you seen changes in you? Have you seen progress, or do you think you're more stagnant?
I mean, I think that we all have our days, right, where we think, oh yeah, I haven't made any progress. But then when I really sit and think about it, I'm like, there's no way I haven't grown, because I most certainly have, because there's just no way I have not. So I most certainly have.
Absolutely. And that's what going back and looking will do for you too. Just to see sort of how far you've come. And also you have to remember too, it's very hard to assess your own growth. It's when you spend time with people and the people closest to you that can tell you how much you've grown, because they see it, they witness it, versus when you're in it, it's really hard to know. Just like you said so perfectly, there's many days when I'm like, I'm just lost and I don't, what is that? I'm always in the same place and things stink. And it's like, that's just a feeling and a mood. Yes, David, handwriting does seem more powerful. I don't think it seems, I think it is actually. I don't have like a clinical study on it, but the Annie clinical study says that it's much more powerful to write versus to type. I think there's a catharsis in that.
I mean, that sounds good to me. So I'll take it.
Mike.
Yes.
Hi.
I'm letting you lead.
I've been leading. Go ahead. Bring some info. What do you want us to talk about when it comes to men's emotions and it being tough?
I don't know right this second.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that I'm not a man. I'm a woman. And sometimes being a woman that's very emotional is tough. But it's definitely easier to express yourself than it is as far as the stigma goes for men. What do you think about that, Cole, when it comes to expressing yourself? Where do you stand?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, because I'm not one to shy away from showing emotion, whatever it is. I think the classic notion of men don't cry. I just don't. I've never really followed that. I just do that because that's just what I do. Like it's just who I am, I guess. I mean, last Friday evening, I was on a call, and it was interesting because it's like I wanted to, but yet it was, when I was reflecting back on it, it was almost as if I was so used to crying by myself that it's almost like I couldn't express my emotion in a group setting because I wasn't used to it, even though I so wanted to. And because that is who I am. It was so interesting to me when
it's just you're comfortable, I think, with yourself, which is great. But sometimes sharing in front of people is really intimidating. I mean, I'm on live shows and posting all the time, and I try to get really raw and vulnerable. And sometimes, you kind of get you second guess, like, do I want to share this? Is this something I want out in the public? I mean, this is a very public space. Felicia's here. Yay. This is a very public forum. And like, I feel like it's my office and my playground. That's what LinkedIn is for me. I mean, so I go and I meet friends for play, and I also do a ton of work. It's where our whole business is generated from. And all of, my live shows and everything like that. So I have to be able to express myself while having boundaries, but not be too blocked. I want to show my true self. So staying authentic while I'm expressing myself while having boundaries. It's a very thin line for me.
And I think that line is different for everyone. And so that's why there's no notion of, oh, you can only show this much, or this is what you can show on this type of a program or on this type of a post or what have you. It's unique to each individual. And so that's why, I don't think anyone can say to someone else, this is how you should appear. And, we all talk about be unique and be yourself, but yet when it comes down to it, does everybody actually do that? Probably not.
I think it definitely takes some cojones to truly show up as yourself. I mean, it was a long journey for me to truly step into, the soul center and just be 100% authentically me. And that was a journey for me. And I'm, a personal development and a coach. So, if it's like that for me, I can imagine people that don't have access to or know the information that I know, or that I've learned, or that I have experienced. But life has been, it's been beautiful, and it's been really tough. It's not so easy to go on this journey.
Well, and there's this, like, I've been, told this notion of, just be you, whether that be here or what have you. I totally get the notion of showing up as you everywhere. And I truly feel like I am doing that, except I'm starting to get the sense that there are people, like we've already kind of discussed, from the outside that are seeing maybe a deeper side of me or a different side of me that I'm not yet privy to, that I'm not seeing. And since I don't see that, I'm not almost willing to show that, or I can't show that because I don't know what that version of myself is yet, but maybe they see that I'm not showing that side of myself.
Cole, you need to make a video about this and post it on LinkedIn.
All right, we'll do.
You need to make a video. And I'm telling you what to do. You don't have to listen. You cannot listen. But my guidance for you is to what you just told us was so powerful, that other people are seeing something in you when you're sharing that you're not quite seeing in yourself, right? And explain that, and then you will get feedback from people, and you will learn and grow from sharing that. That is you getting vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, being vulnerable doesn't really, for me, it's almost natural at this point. I mean, I pretty much have less boundaries than most people. I really don't hold back much. I'm not worried about a professional persona. I'm not worried about how I'm viewed by others. I'm just at a space where I'm just me, and people are either going to accept it or not. It's not always pretty. It's not always great. I'm not always having a good day. Today's a shit day, and it happens. It's been a rough day. It's been up and down the last few days, and it happens, right? And all you can do is be where you are at the moment. The minute I pretend I'm somewhere else, then I'm already not being myself. So I've got to just, all I can do is show up as who I am each day. And that's what I try to do. And I used to be a lot more active on LinkedIn, like extremely, extremely, extremely active, which is how I built this enormous network that I have. I took a good 6-month break from it to really work on myself deeply. And now I'm kind of tiptoeing back in, trying to figure out how or if I even want to approach it at this point.
We've also been building a business for 6 months or more, about a year.
Yeah.
So there's that whole piece.
Yeah, that too. I mean, there's just a lot, right? There's just a lot going on each day with everybody in everybody's lives, right? There's so many pieces and parts of our lives. And, you know, I've shared so much of it with the world, but there's also the internal struggles and battles on a daily basis. And, you know, unless I was live 24/7, you know, no one's really privy to those, right? Except the closest people to me. So, and other than that, I mean, that's about it. Like, all we can do is show up as ourselves every day, you know, and like Annie said, Cole, you post that video, you're going to get feedback from all those that are watching and engaging with you, and they're going to tell you what they're seeing, right? And sometimes you need that outside perspective, because reversing the lens and looking at yourself objectively from the outside looking in isn't always easy. And sometimes it's painful. But when you do it, you know, it's healthy and it's processing. It's growth, right? Like, there's many transition periods that we all go through. There's many transition periods that feel like we're going backwards, feel like we're not making progress, feel like we're stuck, when the reality is we're just moving to the next level. We're just, you know, going through the next cycle of growth. And there's always that period, right? It's important, you know, and that's one of the reasons that we created the breath framework, is because we live by that on a daily basis, right? We constantly go back to it, and we hold each other accountable, and we really, you know, stay on top of it. And it really has become a way of life for us. And it's worked in amazing, amazing ways. You know, how we've shifted, how we've changed, how we've grown, how we've evolved. Now, it doesn't always mean that we fit into the same dynamics we used to, because there's many people in my life I don't fit into the dynamics that used to exist. But there's also people in my life that are new that I do fit, right? And as we evolve, and as our vibration raises, and as we move forward, you know, things just continually evolve around us as well. Our world changes when we change ourselves, right? And I don't know who said that. I'm sure there's 100 people that have. But, you know, when we change ourselves, our world around us changes, because our perception changes, our vibration changes, everything in our own lives changes, and what we reflect outward changes. So we're attracting different things, different people, different, you know, interactions. And all we can do is the best we can each day.
Cole, I have a question. When you do when you do your videos, or when you do journaling, or whatever it is that you do to, like, does any of it give you like a natural high?
When I practice yoga in the morning, it does. I know that much.
Get that, like,
yeah. When I run outside right before the yoga, that does as well. So those are kind of the two main ones. And obviously when I film my videos, that's literally outside when I'm running too. So I think there's just power in sharing our thoughts, and, you know, maybe I don't always get that feeling with that, but I think I do sometimes, because we have those moments where we have those realizations of self, and they're just so powerful. We think, oh my gosh, where has this been all this time? With myself, and I didn't know this was in here, but now this kind of makes sense.
How do you feel right after you make your video? Like, what's your feeling? Is it I'm glad it's done? Is it like, think about where you are after you make that. You make a Wednesday video, Wednesday Wisdom, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, you know, I just think of the word impact, honestly, because a big thing for me is what a lot of people say, right? If we can impact one person, that's impact, right? So I just think about, you know, who I could impact with what I just said, right? And so that's really what I just kind of think about.
You think about when, what kind of impact did I just make? Like, is it going to resonate with people? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm getting like a really strong message about you. that you, and it's going to go along with what I just said about sharing that experience, but I think you need to share more. I think you need to post more and share more. And I'm getting this message because I create content every day, and I'm not saying you have to do that every day, but it's been like such an amazing outlet for me. And that's not for everybody, but I see it in you. I see it on the Wednesday post, and I feel like there's a lot more that you want to share, but you're, nervous to, or something's blocking you, or you're just feel like you're not ready, but you are ready and you can do it. And I see that in you. It's like a strong message that I'm getting, that like you need to put yourself out there more. Get on that. Like, I get an actual natural high from creating content, because it's sharing me and my life. And that's where you are. You're sharing you and your life. And that's what makes impact on people. And I can see this for you, this happening for you. But it's, you got to sort of get out of your own way a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Cole, I can tell you for a fact, I mean, I posted a video every day for over a year, year and a half, I think, on LinkedIn. And when I was doing that, it was very cathartic after a while. It became the easiest way for me to express myself. And also it became my own tracking point of where I was yesterday, where I was, and where I'm at, where I'm going. It became like this own way to gauge where I was at each day. Right. And, look, they're not all great days. They're not all bad days. They're not all, some days are just what they are, and you just got to roll with it. Right. So, it's, you just got to do the best you can.
I think too, like that's what people want to see. I think people want to see when you don't have the best day. I think people want to see when you have a great day. I think people want to see the in-between. I think real is what people want. I mean, I'm never going to shift from that perspective, because I believe it to be true, and it's helped me heal and continues to help me. And the people that I've seen, like I'm seeing you, that I've pushed to do it, I don't think one person has not come back to me and said, thank you for making me, like, forcing me to do that, pushing me out of my comfort zone. Because it's all about we get comfortable in this discomfort. That's what I call it. Like, you sort of are like, well, I'm here and I don't know. And I'm just like, you're kind of just like, I don't know where I am, and I don't know how to get it moving. And I journal, but like, and it's like that complacency of like, I want to light the fire under you, and it might be a little painful and it might burn a little bit, but it's going to get you through. That's what I see with you, so much with you. And I don't mean to be putting you on the spot. You're here. So we might as well talk about your journey, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, I like it.
Raking you across the coals right now. I don't mean to be doing, no pun intended.
No pun intended, yes.
Yeah, pun intended, actually. Pun intended. I don't mean to be doing that, but it's also, I'm getting these like really strong messages that like you need to be, that the reason that you're stagnant right now in your journey, and that you can't find where you are, your beginning, is because you're not putting yourself out there enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for putting yourself out there and expressing yourself in the best way that you can, right? Like, journaling could be the best way for you to clear your head every day, to align your thoughts and to get a lot of the chaos out. But video could be the best way for you to express yourself to others, or it could be copy. I mean, it's different for everybody, right? And sometimes it's creativity and doing pictures, and I mean, you've got to figure out what works for you, right? And like, there's something to be said about your nature videos when you're walking and doing your videos, and you're showing the real journey that you're taking every day, right? Like you're real and you're there, and that's where you're at the moment. Maybe you just need to get more consistent with it, and just, open up a little bit more each day, and open up a little bit more each moment, and just little by little, just let it start flowing. Right. And over time, it gets easier, and, you almost get addicted to it, because it becomes this natural way for you to express yourself, and not in a bad way, but in a way that you're the clearest, and it's what works for you. Right. And maybe that is being around nature, and maybe that is just being in that space. why you're exercising, your endorphins are up, and whatever else is going on, right? So maybe that's your clarity. Maybe that's how you find your clarity, you know?
I can tell you that mine's not in nature. Not in nature. I'm really excited that it is for you, but not a nature girl. Like, I would really prefer to stay inside at all times. But I love your videos. I just think that I wish they were more often. I wish that there was more. I wish that there was some in your car. I wish there was some right when you wake up. I wish I knew what was going on in your life more than just trying to make that impact, but sharing you. I think that's going to be really, really impactful for you. And I can see the future, so I'm just telling you what to do.
I don't doubt that.
Well, and she's also telling you what worked for her, right? And and over her path, that's what she's done. She got more and more comfortable and more vulnerable and more real, and doing videos right when she wakes up, and, you know, doing those things, and, you know, doing videos late at night, and just sharing her truth, and, you know, where she was at the moment, and just going from there, right? And that's all you can do, is just be your real self wherever you're at the moment. And the more comfortable you get with yourself, the easier it is to be able to express yourself in a way that is comfortable to you. And over time, you just get more comfortable with yourself that way by doing those things.
Hi, everybody that's stopping in to say hi. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Rob. Hi, Dr. B. Hi, Elizabeth. She said she's with me. She's not a nature girl either. That's why I knew I liked her. As soon as we met, I was like, that's my girl. Like, if I honestly, like, if I never had to go outside again, except for maybe a football game, if I never had to, like, really just, like, go outside, I'd be fine. I love being inside. I don't need to have leaves crunching under my feet. I don't need to have bugs near me. Like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, and it's an app. I mean, it's an app background where I'm at too, because I'm kind of outside right now too, and I have the screen door open right over there. So
that's like it does look beautiful from over here. Yes, of course. I don't like anything. I don't like creatures and, you know, bugs and.
Yeah, there was a few in here earlier. It's fine.
I get a little freaked. I have a little phobia. It will give your viewers a strong emotional connection with you that will relate to your feelings. Thanks, David. He was on my show earlier too, and he offered a lot of good questions. I appreciate you. We appreciate you being here.
I love it. Yeah, no, because I think one thing that I do with those Wednesday videos, I keep it so short because it's, you know, it's like, oh, LinkedIn says this, that, and the other, and that's so, you know, that's so stagnant, that's so regimented, right? And it's like I'll just talk about whatever the hell for, you know, 2-3 minutes. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, just be you. That's what people want. You know, I mean, people, yeah. I don't know. I don't mean to say it like you need to do it because it's what I did at all. I'm saying it's what, like, it's what gives me a natural high. So I do it. But what I've received from this community and this platform has been mind blowing. I mean, life changing. Trajectory of my life has changed due to this platform and the people that I've met. So that's a pretty incredible thing to be able to say.
Yeah, I mean, I have to concur with that as well.
Gary's eating tacos.
I love
it.
There
you go.
Kenny doesn't like bugs. I'm so not surprised, KDJ. I'm with you on that. It's just like, I'm good. I'm getting like itchy. So I feel like there's ants in my pants. What else you got?
So when we're, well, I can say something. So when we were talking, so when we were talking about, well, nature specifically, but really just where we find meaning in our day or just what have you, there was this phrase that I used to use a lot. I think of nature as a place where nothing is everything, right? That kind of serene stillness of the outdoor world. And, you know, I think oftentimes I go through the course of the day and I almost long to find those moments more and more. And sometimes it's harder to find them. And I get that, but yet, you know, maybe it's these videos, it can be an outlet to find more of those moments where a moment that might seem like nothing is literally just everything that I would be wanting.
100%. I mean, I've done posts on that where there's just so much. What is true happiness? What is true contentment? What is peace? It's everything and nothing together. the nothingness of everything and everything. And like, it's just, that's what it is. I don't know how to put it. Oh my God, Dr. B's talking about my octopus teacher. Did you ever see that, Cole?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, you'll know, you would know.
Okay.
My octopus teacher, I want you to rent it. It's a Netflix special. It's like an hour. And so do me a favor and watch that and then come back and let's chat about it. Cause it's mind blowing, that movie. Cole, do you ever feel a difference between sharing a video on LinkedIn versus Instagram or Facebook?
Well, I don't have an Instagram currently because I don't really feel the need to have one, and I don't use Facebook other than the group feature. But, you know, I just don't really have a big desire to be on those platforms. I guess that's just kind of where I'm at. I kind of had this aversion before I even hopped into LinkedIn September of last year. Had an account for years, never used it, but I literally just kind of had this blanket statement view of like, I don't like social media. But then something was calling me back to it, and I don't necessarily remember what or who it was. I just decided to kind of hop back in. And there's a little pre-story to that, but like, I don't remember what it was. And I just kind of decided to hop back in, and I'm so thankful that I came back to this platform because it's changed a lot. So
yeah, she asked you, I know she asked you, but I'll just say my piece because that's what I do. Like there's no comparison, Felicia, for me. I mean, I have an Instagram account. I have a Facebook account. I never go on Facebook, and I'm rarely on Instagram. And I will tell you, there is absolutely no comparison as far as the community support, the engagement, the community that we have that's been created around us is just amazing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's, it's everything. What do you think, Mike?
I think we'll cut it short tonight.
Okay. You're having a rough one.
Yeah, I'm having a rough day.
But Cole, really psyched that you were here. And thank you for sharing everything you shared.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you both for having me so much. It was an honor to be on.
Of course.
Definitely. You're more than welcome to come back anytime you want.
Absolutely. Would be happy to.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.